Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Rebuild It. I told you last week that I didn't know whether it was going to be a Solstice Coupe video or a Challenger video this week. So surprise, it's a Coupe video. Alright, so I've got the coupe back in the shop, and I think the first order of business is to work on these doors, the guts, get the guts put back in, the glass put back in, and this one, Mike, remember this was the red door, so Mike had to completely strip it when he painted it. I was hoping he wouldn't have to take all the harness out and everything, but he did, so we'll put all that back in. We've got the window regulator and all that kind of stuff is back here in the back. So that's all down there. So we need to install all that. Probably lube it a little bit too. Make sure the track and everything works smoothly. And there's our harness. So let's get busy on the door. And it's going to be a little bit more difficult doing it with it on the car than it is when it's on a stand. But he's got it adjusted so well that I hate to take it back off, so let's try to do it with it on the car. Alright, so I've got the wiring harness, all the window regulator, motor, and all that stuff in there, mirror installed, all these trim pieces up here for the glass. And now I'm going to go ahead and get the door handle and locking mechanism installed, make sure all that works. And I had to make sure that I had the right lock, or they're from before, key. So I checked this with the key, and this is the one from the door that came off of this car, so it matches the ignition. So we'll go ahead and get that all installed, and then we should be able to open and close it a lot easier. All right, so we've got working door handle, and it locks and unlocks. Check that. So now let's work on getting the glass installed. Okay, so there's the window installed, and we'll see how it closes. It's right on. It's good. Well, I'm gonna pause a little bit from working on the door. I still got to put that inner panel on, but I also forgot I need to change the wheels on from this car to the parts car, because if you remember, we had 3 good rims on the parts car and 1 bad one and 1 good one on the coupe. So we're going to switch all those around and then have 1 tires swapped on 1 wheel, from the good to the bad. And since I have my mobile jack here today, we can make this a lot faster and smoother, because that's going to be a lot of jacking up if I just do it with a hand jack. So you can just, you know,
think it'll be a pretty easy job. Let's pick it up. I might use 2 hands.
Okay. All right, so I want to show you guys real quick before I get that wheel and tire off and stuff. You know, I don't know if you remember or not, but man, the interior of this motor was, interior of the hood, the motor and everything was just filthy. Oh, sorry. From the being at the body shop for that week or two, and I got it all power washed, and man, it looks really nice, clean. You can see that right there.
It's really nice.
So, sorry, I forgot you were kind of doing some lifting there. So I'll go ahead and get this tire switched out real quick. And I'll try to hurry because 80's probably a little bit. Oh, darn, I got this.
Oh yeah, that's the worst one that happens.
Stuck in the, there. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, that's nice.
Now, 1, 3, 4,
there's 5.
and 5.
Oh, good.
Amazing how dirty these wheels get while they're just sitting in your shop.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, you should be
Okay. We'll get this new one.
Hurry!
See how much shinier this one is? Although this has quite a bit.
Looks real nice.
You'll never get these lined up.
Oh. Yep, I hate it when that happens.
And these,
You can put a move on. My nose is starting to itch.
sometimes you get these cross threaded. You really
Oh,
make sure that you get them straight.
that's the worst.
There we go. Now they're all on there.
Uh-huh.
There.
Yep, give it a wiggle. It's not going anywhere.
Man, that is hard on the back.
Tell me about it. Yep. You're welcome.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, since I've got everything done on the outside of the store, I'm going to go ahead and put the door panel back on so that we've got access to our power windows on both sides and all that. So first thing to do is to find the door panel, which I believe is this one, which is quite filthy. We've already got this plastic cover back on, and so all we got to do is hook up our latch. You've seen this a million times on this channel, but so we've got door latch, or door lock power, and we've got window power and all that. So I'll be working on that, and then we'll show you what we got done. So I've got that door panel all on, and this one I just hooked the speaker up. I'm gonna make sure that it works before I cover all this up. Alright, so we've got the outside of this door put together, the mirror and handle, everything works. Check the power of the mirror, got the door panel on, everything works in there.
Place the speaker.
Now let's work on getting get the target top off and then the whole back part off so that we can start working on reassembly all the guts in here. So we got carpet, if you remember, had all the soda spilled on it and all that, so we'll shampoo that. And we'll probably go ahead and just take the seat out over here because I think some soda's still underneath that too. We'll shampoo all that while we're doing it. So let's get it out of here. so here we've got the nasty, disgusting carpets that were underneath the seat with all the soda stuff spilled everywhere. So I'm gonna work on shampoo and all that. And I got the carpet from the rear section. We'll shampoo that, and then all these little covers. I mean, it's just soda just went everywhere in the wreck, I guess. So all this needs to be cleaned really good and let it dry, and we'll start reinstalling. All right, so I've got all this carpet shampoo, all the soda stuff out of it, and it was disgusting. That one was probably the worst one. So everything behind the seats and under the seats are clean. So now I'm just gonna wait and let that fan do its work and get it dry, and then we'll start reassembly. All right, so while I'm waiting for the carpet to dry, I'm back in the bumper assembly facility. And so might as well assemble this rear bumper. I'm gonna put the backup lights, the little license plate light, the wiring harness, and this little valance that goes along this bottom back on there. Alright, so that thing's ready to go back on. All we have to do is still put the gotta put the little badges on there that says Pontiac and Solstice, and the little license plate brackets. So now I'm gonna jump over to working on getting this entire back interior section reinstalled. And I think there are some foam pieces that went down in there. I just have to look at my old pictures, but pretty sure there's some foam piece that went there and over there, and then the carpet went over it. So let's start working on that. Okay, so we've got the hard top back on, just sitting on there. And so there's how that carpet all fits in there. So now we got to worry about, or try to figure out how the all this latch stuff went back on, the wiring and all that. And we just got, you know, the two big bolts on each side that go up on, let me show you on that piece there. And then some nuts that go back up in here, and then we'll work on just this trim area in here, then we'll get the bumper. All right, so I've got all this trim, the latch and everything installed, and I shut this hatch and made sure the latch is all lined up and everything, and it latched down in there tight, about the right depth. So that's good. I've got the bolts started on these two areas that hold on the coupe top, and I've got all these started, so I'm going to tighten all that up. I've got a little spacer thing that goes right in here that's just kind of like a little brace for that plastic panel that goes right across this top, so I got to put that in. And once all that's tight, I guess we'll be ready for the bumper. I just got to thinking before I tightened everything down on this coupe, and I've got everything tight except for these big bolts. I needed to put this target top back on and make sure everything lines up perfectly with the windows and these mounting points and the latch that goes up there and all that. Because if this back is off just a little bit, that won't all line up and I'll have a leak. So let's do that real quick. All right, so everything lines up perfectly with the top, windows, and just everything. So that's awesome. So now I'm going to take that back off, which is not the easiest thing. Those things are pretty heavy, especially when you're doing it by yourself. So get that back off, and that way I can go ahead and put the trim back in on the interior on the inside. This needs to be out of the way to do that, and then I'll bolt up the big bolts first and then start working on the trim. Okay, so all I got left in the interior is to put the seat back in. And there's our repaired, oh, I've got to put this little trim piece around that. But there's our repaired area where we replaced the quarter panel. I don't think if you could ever tell that it was done. What do you guys think? So let's get the seat bolted back in, plugged back up, get the seat belt put on it, and then we'll move to the rear bumper. Alright, so now that the interior's done, let's see if we can remember how everything goes back together on this rear bumper. I remember we have to take the tires off to get the rear fender liners in and all that stuff, but let's go ahead and just put the bumper on there and see how many screws we can get in, and then we'll worry about the in behind the tires. So I've got a brand new fender liner for this back wheel, and because that other one was just completely destroyed in the wreck, so go ahead and get that put on, and then we'll move to the other side. Alright, so we've got this back all reassembled, all the fender liners, both fender liners are in, the bumper's all buttoned up. We just need this, put this little rear plastic balance piece back in, snap it in. It's got 2 screws that hold it. I'm waiting on the little emblem to come in that goes right here, the little Pontiac emblem. I got the ones that say Pontiac and Solstice. I'll probably wait till the end to put those on. So let's go ahead and put that little balance on. Alright, so now that the back is done, we'll work our way towards the front of the car. And the next thing that needs to be done is these little fenders right here. They've been painted and they need all the little badges and stuff on them before we put them on. And there's like a little piece that goes right here. Matter of fact, it's right here. The little thing goes on there. We'll put that on, and then the fender, and you see how it lines up. Right, guys, so we've got that little fender installed there, and I'm super happy with the gaps and just the hood gap and the door gap and everything. This side is just like right on. This is the way you want it when you're finished. So I hope that we can get the other side even close to this, because I've just kept messing with that door, trying to get it to the gaps to be acceptable. So we'll see what it's like. That's going to take me a long time to try to play with it on that other side. So I'll do that, and I'll show you when we get it done. Oh, I'm sorry, but we happen to have ran out of time on this video, so I guess we'll have to wait until next Solstice Coupe video before we can see what's on the other side. So hopefully it's good. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe, and make sure you share us with your friends. And we appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
And always remember, don't retire it if you can rebuild it. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in and watching this week's episode of Rebuild It. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any awesome content. Have a good one.